So which is quicker and why? My Jeep Gladiator or my Toyota Tacoma? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hey, I'm out cruising around in my Jeep Gladiator. Had to do a little speed run there, just a little short one there for a minute. Not really to go fast, but to hear that awesome S&B cold air intake I've got in here. Wow, what a difference it makes. Amazing. But anyway, that's not why I'm on here. I'm on here today because I wanted to talk about which is faster, the Toyota Tacoma or the Jeep Gladiator. And man, I gotta say, you know, after having them for a longer period of time, both trucks, it's still the Jeep Gladiator, man. Why? Why is the Jeep Gladiator faster? I mean, they're comparable statistically. I mean, if you look at the size of the motor and the torque, and the horsepower and the weight and all that stuff. And by the way, at the end, I'll put up a little comparison between the two so you can see the differences. But, you know, all that being equal, why is there such a profound difference in the Jeep Gladiator? And there really is. It feels a lot quicker to me. And I've mentioned this on the channel before, and of course I get a lot of comments about, you know, that the Tacoma is rated faster, it's been clocked faster and all this good stuff. And I don't know who's doing the tests, and I don't know what they're doing it with, but I'm telling you, from a real world daily standpoint, they're wrong. It may be that way on paper, I don't know. But from a real world perspective, you know, driving these trucks every day, it's the Jeep Gladiator, hands down. And I think there's one real reason for that, and that is the tune, the way that they set this thing up. I mean, I don't know that the gearing is all that much different than the Tacoma is. Be able to see in the statistics at the end, but I think, you know, we're pretty much the same. I didn't go with the bigger, I think it's 4:10 gear ratio in the Gladiator, which would explain why it would be quicker or feel quicker. But I didn't do that, and I think it's comparable, if not the same, as the Tacoma. So it's really not the gearing as far as what's in the rear end, you know. And that only leaves the tune, the way that this truck was set up from the factory. And I'm curious as to why Toyota hasn't tweaked that a little bit. I mean, it seems to me that all of Toyota's power is in the higher RPM range, if you will. You got to crank that truck up a little bit higher before you really get into the power. And maybe, and probably, that's where it would exceed the Jeep Gladiator. But, you know, unless you're, you know, really running it, and I do have a manual transmission, so I can run it out, you know, as high as I want to in the Toyota Tacoma. I mean, I can run into the higher RPM range. And it is funny, I will mention that in the Tacoma, there does seem to be almost a little bit of a boost when you run it out. I've done it several times where I'm driving down the road, topping out the gear, and there just seems to be a little bit of a kick, of a boost once you get up into the higher RPM range before you shift. So I'm pretty darn sure that that's why, and that's what Toyota has done with the Tacoma to kind of utilize its power. Now, let me address one other thing, because I put a video out on the channel the other day about the top 10, or 15 rather, fastest trucks. And I got a couple comments about, well, it's a truck and it shouldn't be fast. It's not designed for that. And I agree. I mean, it's not a sports car. But still, when you have trucks and you love trucks like I do and you drive them every day, you want to enjoy them a little bit too. And, you know, I'm not looking to have, you know, Lamborghini, you know, power or anything like that in it, but I do want to be able to have fun with it. I mean, as popular as trucks are today, people do, like me, just buy them to drive and have fun in too. I mean, you don't always have to be grinding out a load or towing some heavy weight to have fun in your truck, you know. And obviously, it does have a utilitarian use, and that's all good, because it is a truck, it should. But I think they need to be fun to drive, and Jeep certainly has accomplished that, or FCA, with the Jeep Gladiator. I mean, it is just, it's fun to drive. It's quick, it's fun to zip around in, it's fairly nimble for what it is, and you get that little extra thrill out of it. So it's kind of a bonus. It has the utilitarian function. Obviously, it is a truck. It's not just a JK or a four-door with a bed on the back, for those that like to say that. And speaking of that, it was redesigned from the rear back as a truck. So it is a blast to drive. It does handle well. It obviously has the power to make it fun. Still gets the crappy gas mileage like every truck does, but it is a blast. So I guess in the end, it's about tuning. It's what FCA or Jeep has done with it as far as how it's set up and how it's tuned. And kudos to them. I think they've done an excellent job to make this truck a blast to drive. Anyway, if you've got a Gladiator and you've driven other trucks, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Have you noticed that it's quicker, it's faster than your other trucks were? I'd be curious to know. Hey, also, real quick, if you haven't and you're interested, check out my other channel. It is Rob Motive. I do know the name of my channel. It is Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.